Good evening, and welcome to another melancholy version of Diatribes from the Voice of Doom. Now here's your moody and malevolent host, Voice of Doom. I don't know why, but every time I start talking to the computer, this cat has to start meowing. I don't get it, but he just has a sixth sense of when I'm going to do a diatribe, and so it's time to go interrupt and be a pain in the butt. So that's the way that is, but I figured I'd do a diatribe for no reason other than got a new subscriber. I think maybe two, but one made a comment, and so I appreciate that. It's Zero Rose 1052. But thanks for joining. A very small cadre of fans. But the person kind of acted like he appreciated what I was doing, so I figured I'd do a diatribe just to keep things going with content. But nothing much to say. I kind of wanted to talk about, I came up with the title Tit for Tat only because the government shutdown is over, and politically I think Orangey's hitting his stride. And it's only been, 8 months or something? 9 months? I don't know. But however long he's been in office, he's gotten an awful lot done. And he's doing an awful lot more to piss off people. And when they want to get pissed off, he says, I'm doubling down. You ain't seen nothing yet. And I'm talking about deportations. And it's a major issue right now because they say he's just going too far, and it's like we haven't even started yet. We're going to really come down and get rid of a lot of people. And people are bitching because they think it's draconian for brown shirts to be going into neighborhoods and taking out criminals and people who are essayers and killers and cartel members and drug smugglers and human smugglers and whatever. We shouldn't be taking those people away because they were on their way to work at Home Depot, and you just come like a bunch of Nazis and drag them away. And they're all up in arms now. They bitch on one hand about how much things cost. Everybody's saying the cost of living is too high, affordability. There's no affordable housing for people. And so Orangey's henchmen come along and say, we're getting rid of millions of people so that we have more affordable housing. And they are Nazis for doing such a thing. How dare they take away all these people that have snuck into this country and gotten more benefits than any American ever has who's on the dole, who's needy, as they say. I mean, the benefits to these illegals, and I've been talking about this for so many years now, it's almost ridiculous to have to reiterate. But everything's kind of coming home because we can't afford everything, and our SNAP was taken away, and this and that and this and that, but you're giving so much to these people. You're giving them a free lifestyle. You're setting them up to live here for free. For a while, of course, maybe not forever. But I mean, enough time of free room and board to, if you don't get established, then then you'll just be a criminal and you'll pillage another way. But the point of the matter is people are getting wise to that, and the people that are out on the street trying to obstruct are getting arrested now, and they are being released by judges who have a political agenda. And I think if they really want to do some investigating, they should investigate what the story is on this tribalism that we have going on and who's at the bottom of it. They pussyfoot around and they don't have any power. They don't have any power to bring George Soros's no-account son into Congress, and even if they did, they just get a bunch of word salad and send him on his way. Congress has no power to do anything, and no prosecutor and no DA or district attorney or state's attorney or any of those people have the guts to indict anybody on anything. Because if you step on the wrong toe, then all your toes will be gone, along with the rest of your foot. So it's always been that way for many, many decades now. Probably since post-World War II, it's been like anybody that rocks the boat will be under the boat. Kennedy, anybody involved with Kennedy, just all the conspiracies and all the murders, even up to this present day with Charlie Kirk. Anybody that believes that some idiot was on the roof lying in wait on the roof with a sniper rifle, waiting for a question about transgenderism so he could pull the trigger, and then just casually stick his rifle back in the bag and go on his way. Okay, so that's just another one that's gonna be, why ever they end up going to prison, I don't know. I have my theories, but I won't go into that. I probably already said it. But tit for tat, okay, we have a president. See, in the old days, you could just do whatever you want, especially in the last 5 or 6 years. The media could just splice together any kind of rigmarole they wanted to promote their agenda and make their point. This is not what news is supposed to be. It's supposed to be, here's what happened, who, what, why, where, when, how. As far as we know, the facts, not political propagandizing. But they splice together stuff from the BBC, and instead of this, like, Petri dish or any of those other people, we just let it slide. It's like, I won the election, so I don't care what kind of malfeasance. But Orangey is a little bit different. He does not like when he is being pilloried. He does not like being unjustly accused. And he's not above tit for tat. He's not above doing exactly what his opponents did back at him when he's in the power seat. And then they bitch. Oh my God. It's lawful warfare. It's whatever they call it. You know, using the law and trying to get rid of your opponent. Lawfare, I guess they call it. But Orangey's like, yeah, you cheated, you spliced together this thing to make me look bad, and now I'm going to sue you out of your business. I'm going to sue you till you have no money left. And instead of saying, oh, whatever, they fire people, CEOs go by the wayside, and I hope he keeps on doing it. I hope he sues MSN, B, whatever. CNN's coming around. They're still bad, but just say anything that's not true and I'll sue you. So you better watch your P's and Q's. I think CNN has already paid some money out anyway for some BS they did. But you don't want to fool around with this guy. The people that were crowing and braying and laughing about how they were going to bring this guy down a few years ago, two years ago, are now in the same pickle that they tried to put him in. It's not fair. He's just going after his political enemies. No, if you broke the law, so you should suffer the punishment that everyone else does if you broke the law. But you need prosecutors, you need DAs, you need state's attorneys, and you need district attorneys and the attorney general and everybody else. I mean, the attorney general can't just indict anybody she wants to. But these other attorneys within states' jurisdictions can. And most of them don't, but some do. So we'll see what happens. But tit for tat, I've been bitching about Epstein. It goes one way or the other. Okay, Epstein, yeah, he committed suicide. For some reason, the cameras weren't working. And he was found dead in his cell. Alright. Now, the more you hide things, the more people can conjecture everything. And believe me, people's imaginations can run wild. So I picture people in power, politicians, high politicians who get statues in D.C. and their paintings on the wall of the White House involved with illicit encounters with people who are not of age to do such things. I can imagine that. And there's enough conspiratorial evidence to say that it does happen. And if you take it to its logical extreme, you could say that maybe the elites live in a world where they're above all that and they can do whatever the hell they want. Because they have $1 billion. It's not even that much anymore. Gotta have like $100 billion. But tit for tat is like the Democrats release the Epstein files as if there's some sort of a black book or something with a list of people's phone numbers and what they did and where they did it. I mean, the files are a dossier that could fill this room with information about what happened. And there's a lot of names in there. And unless they have solid evidence by people who were involved, they cannot just go willy-nilly releasing everything. Because if you're on the same plane with somebody, that doesn't mean that you are involved. It's not guilt by association. Or guilt by even being in the same room with somebody. 30 years ago, 40 years ago, this guy was at a dinner party with this Epstein guy, and so he's obviously a child, whatever. Referring to Orangey. Okay, the D's have been chomping at the bit to get information, so Orangey says, okay, let's get some information then. And some of it's starting to dribble. And the D's are going to be just the same in the docket as everybody else, because there's a lot of D's that have probably done their usual D business and had a good old time. And if they were 17 and a half when they did their good old time, then we'll see what happens with that. But if Orangey was truly guilty of, I don't see why he would be. I've said this about almost every accusation in the sexual nature against Orangey. Oh, he was looking at things at Macy's and he cornered me in the elevator and had his way with me. I don't remember exactly when, and okay. And I can't help thinking, I'm very rich. And do I want to risk everything and my freedom because I just feel like overpowering a sales clerk? No. So I think Orangey is saying, I have nothing to hide, so let's bring it all out. If he had something to hide, he would try to hide it. But I just don't see the point in that. That doesn't make any sense. You just wouldn't want to risk everything. For what? Something that you wait 1 or 2 years and you could do it legally. Come on. Let's get with it. This Epstein thing is a distraction. It's an interesting distraction because if all the truth came out, then yeah, everything would fall apart because we'd realize that all our political stalwart leaders are, bad, demonic. They're on the evil side of the universe. The universal forces, positive and negative, and they're part of the negative. Man, they've probably done horrible things, thinking they can get away with it. But I just did this diatribe just for the sake of my new subscriber, and it doesn't say much, and I have more to say about tit for tat, but it's just interesting that when Orangey uses lawfare, they're screaming to holy heaven, "What a fiend, god-awful fiend." Well, projection, the whole thing. It's been said a million times before by everybody else. People cheat their asses off, and then when somebody does it back to them, they act aghast and they act indignant. How dare he? And people are seeing it. People are seeing through it more and more because there's so much on, the media, on the internet, on social media, that people get the gist that they're hypocrites. Always have been, always will be. And they'd be better off trying to help us get through some of these problems rather than trying to cover their butts. But I'll leave it there. It wasn't much, but I just wanted to get one in. I'll plan one better later, and it'll be real interesting. So thanks, everybody, and thanks, Zero Rose, for joining. Bye.